The foods that you put into your mouth every single day have a massive impact on how high or low your testosterone levels are. There's a lot of debate over what foods hurt and help testosterone production, but in this video, I'm going to completely equip you to recognize foods that secretly destroy your testosterone so that you can cut back on them or completely eliminate them out of your diet. Your masculine health and your manhood are going to thank you for watching this. If you're new here, I'm Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutrition coach, and a chemical engineer. In my early 20s, I suffered from low testosterone levels from being fat, lazy, and overweight. And it wasn't until I went through a pretty nasty breakup in college that I really finally started to get a grip on my life. So I'm here to share what I've learned with other men so that they can improve their health and boost their testosterone naturally, just like I did. And I do post videos like this one every single week, so go ahead and subscribe so that you're not missing out. In truth, you need to be doing all that you can to improve and maintain your testosterone levels. This includes your diet, as what you eat will affect your health, your well-being, and your hormones. Many foods have been cited as testosterone killers, but often there is little research to verify these claims. However, as you probably know, a well-balanced diet is the secret to supporting your testosterone levels. Testosterone-killing foods contribute to bad health and poor dietary choices, which can go beyond specific foods you consume. The best approach is to keep your intake of these foods to a minimum, or at the very least under moderation. Let's review some of the biggest culprits. First and foremost is alcohol. As far as foods and drinks go, alcohol is certainly one of the biggest testosterone killers. Drinking regularly will harm testosterone levels, but alcohol can even have short-term immediate effects on your testosterone. And this damage can even be permanent. Research has shown that testosterone levels drop after 30 minutes of consuming just one alcoholic drink. And then with one drink, testosterone levels were restored within 1 day. Further research showed that after 5 drinks, which was essentially used to mimic a typical night out at the bar, testosterone level recovery actually takes 3 days. In a clinical study determining the effects of alcohol on testosterone, the researchers compared the testosterone levels of healthy men to the testosterone levels of men who were alcoholics. It was no surprise that the alcoholics had extremely low testosterone levels compared to the healthy group. But the test went a step further. The healthy men were giving a pint of whiskey to drink daily for 30 consecutive days. After only 72 hours, this group began to show a significant decline in testosterone. And by the end of the 30-day trial, the healthy men group had testosterone levels similar to that of the alcoholics. This study makes it clear that regularly drinking will cause a decline in testosterone levels, and that will result in a noticeable decline in a short period of time. If we consider how testosterone is produced, we can see why alcohol is detrimental to testosterone. In men, there are 3 glands responsible for testosterone production: the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the testicles. The hypothalamus releases gonadotropin-releasing hormones, which act on the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland then releases 2 hormones called luteinizing hormone, or LH, and follicle-stimulating hormone, or FSH. One of these hormones gathers nutrients and transports them down to the testicles, and that is where testosterone is produced, in the late egg cells in the ball sack. Alcohol lowers testosterone levels because it disrupts and interferes with all 3 of these glands. This disruption takes place as soon as the alcohol enters the bloodstream, and it continues to cause disruption until the alcohol has passed through our system and the toxic byproducts have been completely eliminated. The damage done and the time it takes to recover will be determined by how long you've been drinking and the amount that you have been consuming. Of course, quitting alcohol can completely reverse the damage. In the case of long-term drinking or alcoholism, recovery can take months, years, or even be permanent. In the study, it was reported that in the healthy male group that was given the pint of whiskey every single day for 30 days, the reversal of the effects of the alcohol took 10 weeks after alcohol consumption was stopped. If you care about your testosterone levels, keep the drinking to a bare minimum or eliminate it from your diet completely. Up next is certain dairy products. Dairy is an essential part of a well-balanced diet, but there is a potential downside that you need to be aware of. of. Milk comes from pregnant cows, so naturally it contains estrogens. And obviously most dairy products are made from milk, so the overwhelming majority of dairy products are going to contain estrogen. The ingestion of these hormones can impact your testosterone levels by suppressing the release of gonadotropin-releasing hormones that are needed for the secretion of the follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. These are the hormones that travel to the balls to deliver the nutrients to make testosterone. If the testicles don't receive enough hormones, they can't synthesize testosterone. But milk and dairy products also happen to be packed with essential micronutrients that help make up a well-balanced diet. For example, milk is an excellent source of vitamin A, vitamin K2, calcium, iodine, potassium, and DHEA. All these nutrients are needed to help the body maintain its balance, and micronutrient deficiencies can adversely affect testosterone production. Another dairy product made from milk is protein powders such as whey protein. Whey protein is an isolate of milk protein, which means they are potentially estrogen isolates. This has yet to be proven, but it definitely is possible. Estrogen is inevitably present in milk, but most estrogen in the male body is estrogen converted from testosterone. Consuming some estrogen in your diet can mean that your body has enough estrogen and it doesn't need to produce more. And as a consequence, less testosterone is going to be converted into estrogen. Excessive consumption of these protein supplements is something to be aware of. You don't need to cut them out of your diet completely. They are a useful dietary supplement, especially if you need some help eating enough protein, but you just want to be aware. One of the fundamental rules of a well-balanced diet is to consume a wide variety of foods. Dairy is essential, but moderation is the key. By the way, if you're finding this information helpful so far, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button real quick. It helps me out, which helps other men out because they're going to be more likely to see this. And let's face it, the world is in need of more healthy masculine men who take care of themselves. Alright, general food group number 3 is processed foods. Processed foods are catastrophic to testosterone levels. They're usually high in calories, sugar, and unhealthy fats like trans fats and hydrogenated oils. They also contain other additives such as artificial sweeteners, processed sodium, and chemical preservatives which are added during the manufacturing. Examples of processed foods include processed meats like sliced deli meats such as ham, turkey, chicken, and roast beef. And then other processed meats include things like bacon, sausages, salami, pepperoni, burgers, and hot dogs. And then many cheese products like cheese spreads or individually wrapped cheese slices, these are also heavily processed. And those cheese slices are usually used in restaurant or fast food cheeseburgers. Canned fruits and vegetables are also highly processed. Don't be fooled into thinking that they're healthy just because they're fruits and vegetables. They're put in these liquids or brines that contain salt, sugar, and sometimes both just to extend their shelf life. Furthermore, they're also placed in cans that are lined with a thin plastic film containing endocrine disruptors. Savory snacks such as packaged potato chips, sausage rolls, cake snacks, and pastries. It's always best to just make your own snacks or baked goods and avoid the packaged pre-made ones. I mean, I personally don't think anyone should snack. Snack foods are just empty calories, they do absolutely nothing for your appetite, and snacking is just a horrible nutrition habit. If you're gonna eat food, then sit down and eat a meal. You should never be mindlessly snacking on food. And this also includes sweet snacks such as cakes, biscuits, and breakfast cereals. These food products are highly processed and loaded with artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners, and consistency agents. Did you know that there are entire teams of scientists who conduct experiments just to see how much thickening agents they should put in the products just to improve the mouthfeel? Do your best to avoid pre-made foods and microwave meals. They have all kinds of crap added to them to preserve the shelf life, and they're also packaged in plastic, and they're usually heated up right in the microwave in the plastic container, and that's never a good thing. Because I got news for you, anytime you heat plastic, it is going to break down to some degree. This is a fundamental material property of plastics. I'm not going to dive too deep into the chemistry of polymer materials, but the fact that all plastics break down over time is not talked about enough. It doesn't matter if it's BPA free or microwave safe. If it's made out of plastic, it can break down and leach into your food. Period. End of story. And if you don't believe me, then you can be my guest and go memorize the entire entire list of endocrine disrupting chemicals that I'll leave down in the description below, by the way. And then you can go call up all of the companies who make all of these food containers and ask them what chemicals they use to make them and check to see if they're on that list. The easiest thing to do is learn to cook your own meals. If you're not a great cook, then just look up some recipes and follow the instructions. It really is not that difficult. Cooking is a basic life skill that everyone should have. I'm not a dating or relationship coach or anything, but don't you find it so unattractive when a girl says that she can't or doesn't cook? And it's not even about whether cooking is some kind of gender role. It's just a matter of lacking a basic competence as a grown adult. Anyway, not the point, just learn how to cook. It is a great life skill to have, and you'll be able to choose exactly what is going into the food that you ultimately put in your body. You don't need to become a Chef Gordon Ramsay, but learn how to cook wholesome meals that are going to optimize your hormonal health. Diets that include regularly consuming processed foods are associated with poor physical and mental health, nutritional deficiencies, and obesity. All of these things will affect testosterone levels because poor health affects hormone production and it upsets the body's finely tuned hormonal regulation system. And when nutritional deficiencies linger for too long, they have the same effect. Obesity encourages the conversion of testosterone into estrogen because fat cells produce an enzyme called aromatase, and this enzyme is responsible for converting testosterone into estrogen. So if you're carrying around a bunch of excess body fat, more of your testosterone is going to be converted into estrogen, which obviously causes testosterone levels to drop. There have also been some studies that suggest that consuming trans fats regularly can reduce testosterone levels by as much as 15%. And trans fats are obviously pretty abundant in processed foods. Ease and convenience might save you time now, but it ultimately destroys your health and crashes your testosterone levels. So real quick, if you're sitting there right now and you know you need to do something about your diet, but you're feeling overwhelmed with all of this information right now, then I want to encourage you to go to the link in the pinned comments down below and fill out the quick form to learn more about my coaching program. I can help you eliminate all of the bad foods in your diet and replace them with good ones that'll increase your testosterone levels so that you can feel like a freaking beast of a man. So if you're interested, go ahead and fill out that quick form. It only takes like 1 or 2 minutes and I'll reach out to you to set up a quick Zoom call so we can chat about how I can help. Okay, the next food is trans fats and hydrogenated fats. It seems to be common knowledge that trans fats are bad for you and they contribute to many diseases, but that doesn't really seem to prevent many people from consuming them regularly. Trans fats are abundant in most restaurant foods, particularly in fast food. DoorDash or Uber Eats might seem like a convenient way to save you time, but it'll tank your testosterone levels if you use it too often. Hydrogenated fats are used in most vegetable and seed oils like soybean, canola, sunflower seed, safflower seed, and peanut oil. They're called hydrogenated fats because of the process used to manufacture them. The raw materials are saturated with hydrogen under extremely high pressure, and nickel is often used as an alkaline catalyst to harden them. Traces of nickel are present in these fats, and nickel is a known endocrine disruptor and a carcinogen. Exposure to nickel can harm the stomach and the kidneys and contribute to many forms of cancer. I actually used to work with nickel powders when I worked for a battery development company, and we'd have to take pretty extreme measures to be able to handle them safely. Nickel is pretty nasty, cancerous stuff. So once the whole production process is complete, the unsaturated molecules in the raw oils become fully saturated so that they're solid or semi-solid at room temperature, like a lard or a ghee. When cheap, low-quality oils are hardened and essentially zapped with hydrogen, trans fats are formed. Margarine is practically pure trans fat. It has synthetic coloring added to it to make it look more like butter, so avoid using margarine for anything. Always use real butter, but please don't ever use margarine for anything. I can't even believe that companies are still allowed to make margarine, but I guess you could make the same case for cigarettes. Trans fats are especially bad because they lower good cholesterol, also known as HDL, and they increase bad cholesterol, also known as LDL. Good cholesterol is used in testosterone production, and bad cholesterol can clog arteries and reduce blood flow. So obviously you don't want to eat fats that are going to lower HDL cholesterol and increase LDL cholesterol. Everyone wants to blame red meats, saturated fats, and eggs for giving people high cholesterol, but it's actually from all this junk food that people eat, all this fast food and carry-out food that people consume regularly. Most restaurants just care about making money now, so they will gladly use cheap, crappy oils to cook in so that they can increase their profit margins. Trans fats also cause inflammation, and inflammation harms the body in many ways. They throw off the production of hormones like cortisol and testosterone. Trans fats also raise cortisol levels, and cortisol is a stress hormone. Cortisol is also notorious for lowering testosterone production. Trans fats also increase oxidative stress and negatively impact the functions of the glands used to regulate hormones. Trans fats also increase the risk of heart disease and clogged arteries by inhibiting optimal blood flow, so they do ultimately increase the risk of erectile dysfunction. Some studies have found that men who consume trans fats on a regular basis had testosterone levels up to 15% lower than those who moderated their intake. And that's just compared to men who still consumed these fats only in moderation. I mean, imagine what you could do for your testosterone levels if you just completely eliminated them from your diet. Trans fats have no potential health benefits whatsoever, so why even eat them? I would suggest you completely eliminate these fats from your diet and your body will thank you. The next food, which is actually a drink, is diet sodas. Diet sodas are considered by many to be a healthy alternative to sugary sodas, but these diet drinks can hurt your testosterone levels. It may be hard to believe, but regular sodas are actually less damaging. Now, don't take that as me recommending that you go and drink soda. I would recommend you just completely eliminate all sodas from your diet, whether regular or diet soda. But the main problem with diet sodas is the artificial sweeteners they contain. Aspartame has been shown to cause damage to testicular tissue, which also has an impact on testosterone production, obviously. One study showed that men who drank diet sodas had lower testosterone levels than men who didn't. Aspartame is an artificial sweetener used in a variety of products today. It's usually used in products that are labeled diet something or other, and these products are assumed to be better options because they're lower in calories. It is commonly used in diet sodas, energy drinks, sugar-free fruit juices, sugar-free sports drinks, and many low-calorie processed foods. It's literally everywhere, and unfortunately, it is toxic. Aspartame is what's known as an excitotoxin. Too many of these toxins can cause nerve cell damage and even cellular destruction because of the excess neurotransmitter stimulation. This is not good because neurotransmitters act as messengers that influence many bodily functions. Because these toxins bind themselves to various brain receptors, this ultimately causes problems with testosterone production because we know that the brain receptors play a significant role in releasing the appropriate hormones to kickstart the testosterone production process. Excitotoxins have also been linked to neurological disorders, and any neurological disturbance can potentially affect your hormonal system. With more and more evidence of aspartame's influence on testosterone production, it's best to just completely eliminate it from your diet. Always check the ingredients before buying anything if you're not sure about it. If it says artificial sweetener of any kind, chances are it has aspartame in it. So avoid any foods that include the term artificial sweeteners as well. It's also referred to as E951. Food manufacturers do their best to not draw too much attention to the fact that they put toxins in these food products. So kind of piggybacking off of the soda category, the next one is sugar or sugary drinks. Fizzy drinks are becoming increasingly popular, especially among younger men. Sales of these drinks generate huge revenues, and they're often the first beverage of choice for many. However, some studies showed that men who consumed these drinks regularly had lower sperm count and testosterone levels than men who either didn't drink them at all or at least moderated their intake. It was also observed that an inverse relationship exists between the amount of consumption and the likelihood that testosterone levels would become lower. The more of these drinks men consumed, the greater the reduction in testosterone levels. Most of these drinks are bad not just because of the copious amounts of sugar and synthetic sweeteners, but also because they have colorings and preservatives added to them. These include energy drinks, sports drinks, fruit juice concentrates, fruit punch, and chilled ready-to-go coffee drinks. drinks. Too much soda and sugar intake can negatively affect hormonal balance in men because sugar consumption spikes insulin production. Medical evidence clearly shows that excessive consumption of sugars, sugary foods, and sugary drinks can increase the risk of various medical conditions. These include low testosterone levels, obesity, inflammation, diabetes, gout, cardiovascular disease, metabolic dysfunction, and premature skin aging. These conditions are known to affect hormonal regulation and endocrine function. More often than not, sugar amounts to useless calories. Much of it gets stored as fat and leads to excessive weight gain. This excessive weight gain often leads to abnormal functioning of the testicles and increases the production of enzymes that convert testosterone into estrogen. For those of you who care, this enzyme is called aromatase. You may have heard it before because it has the notorious reputation of converting testosterone into estrogen. Excessive consumption of sugar also increases the likelihood of developing nutritional deficiencies. These sugary processed foods and drinks lack the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients to regulate testosterone production effectively. So all this is to say that there are many ways consuming sugary drinks and foods can either lead directly or indirectly to decreases in testosterone. One study on the intake of sugary beverages showed that men who consumed 442 calories of sugary drinks per day had lower testosterone levels than men who limited their intake to 137 calories per day. Excessive consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages also causes insulin spikes because the body must produce more insulin to manage spikes in sugar consumption. So the evidence seems pretty unanimous that sugary drinks do not correspond to high testosterone levels. Alright, I think we're up to number 7, which is low quality meat. Meat and animal fats positively affect our health, testosterone production, and muscular development. However, the quality of the meat and the animal fats must be considered. Low quality meat usually contains a high amount of omega-6 fatty acids. Although omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids are essential to a well-balanced diet, excessive consumption of omega-6 fatty acids contributes to inflammation and reduced testosterone levels. Inflammation can impact the body's hormonal regulation, including testosterone. Considering that the average Western diet consists of an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of between 10 to 1, well, it's no wonder many men have low testosterone levels. Some people consume diets with an omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio of as high as 40 to 1, which is exceptionally high. You want to stay below a ratio of 4 to 1. Omega-6 fatty acids are inflammatory and omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. Ideally, you should reduce this even further and aim for a ratio between 2 to 1 or 1 to 1. The ratio of these fatty acids in the human brain is between 1 to 1 and 2 to 1, so these seem like obvious parameters for optimal health and hormonal output. An extremely helpful tool for tracking this ratio is an app called Chronometer. It's like MyFitnessPal on steroids. You can track your micronutrients very easily, and this will allow you to monitor your omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid intake. So that's pretty much it. I certainly didn't cover every single testosterone-killing food out there, but this comprehensive breakdown of testosterone-killing foods should cover about 95% of the bases. Again, if you know that you need to do something about your diet, but you're feeling overwhelmed with all this information right now, then I'd encourage you to go to the link in the pinned comment and fill out the quick form to learn more about my coaching program. I can help you eliminate all the bad foods in your diet and replace them with good ones that'll increase your testosterone levels. So if you're interested, head on over to that link and fill out the quick form. It only takes like 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll reach out to set up a quick Zoom call so that we can chat about how I can help. Increasing your testosterone levels is going to give you more energy, more confidence, more masculine drive. It's going to be easier to lose fat and build muscle, and it's even going to help you succeed more with women. It is the key to truly unlocking that raw masculine vitality that is embedded in your DNA as a man. So if you're interested, fill out that quick form and I'll talk to you soon. But that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. Let me know what you thought about the video down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys, and it helps me make the kind of content that you want to see when I hear hear from you directly, so don't be a stranger. If you made it to the end, I do appreciate the support, and I hope you got a ton out of this video. Good luck in all of your efforts to boost testosterone naturally. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.